Hello everybody, the Goodies here. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart and reassemble just about any 2x2. So here I have the Rubik's 2x2. This isn't the really old one or the really new one. I believe the really old one won't work with this method, and I'm not sure about the newer one, so you're just going to have to check yourself. This is a Moyu Lingpo, and this is a V-cube, and all these cubes have pretty similar mechanisms, and so they can be taken apart in pretty similar ways, and so I'm just going to show you how to do that today. And so what you'll need for all of these is a screwdriver. For most like 3x3s and stuff, you won't need a screwdriver, but for a 2x2, the mechanism is so compact and everything that you really will need a screwdriver. And so what you're going to do is just find one of the screws and find a screwdriver that fits, so I'll go do that. Okay, so I got this one, and it should work just fine. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to start taking apart each of these 2x2s. I'm just going to take apart each one of them because I just want to kind of show you the mechanism and how they can vary between cubes. And so the Rubik's one, the first main difference you'll see is some of the sides, if you pull them apart like this, they don't actually have screws. So you're going to have to just look around until you find one. Normally if you see one and it doesn't have a screw, just look completely opposite of that and it will. And so I'll get this one. And then just unscrew one side of your cube. You only have to do one, and you can get access to the rest of the mechanism by only doing one. Okay, there we go. I unscrewed one side of each of them, so I'm just going to very carefully take each of these ones off. Yeah, a couple pieces will probably fall off in the process. You see they're all a little bit different. You see the V-cube is having a little bit of troubles coming apart, and that's just because of the differences in the mechanism. And so, this one we can just kind of pull apart until it comes apart. And so what you'll find is on many 2x2s, you will actually have either 3 pieces just connected to the core. So you see right here, these 3 center pieces are just one piece. Like this corner is actually just part of the core. You can't really take it off. Or, on the case of the Moyu Lingpo and the V-cube, you'll actually have these like interlocking pieces like this. And so one center will have these 2 pieces coming apart off of it. So it's one square and a thing there. And then you'll have 2 center pieces like this, so just one square and then one thing like that. And so what that does is it just keeps this corner in place, so the inner mechanism, this inner 3x3, which is what a 2x2 is based off of, will stay in alignment. And so that's required to do that. And so from here, just for simplicity, I'm not going to actually show you the V-cube. It'll work just the same as this cube, so if you have a V-cube, just follow along with this cube and it should work just fine. And this cube's a little bit easier to see in the inside of it because it's white. And so, when you have the Rubik's one, or just any of them, just start taking these little edge sections off, like that, and that. Corner comes off, and just get all the edges out, up as much as you can. And so, like I said, on the Rubik's, this will be the core, and on the V-cube or Moyu or most V-cube 2x2s, this will be the core. Okay, so now from here you'll have both of these cores, and what you can do is on the Rubik's one you can just take these 2 extra centers off and lubricate it however you want. On this one in the V-cube you can take all of them off and lubricate it, but I really don't recommend lubricating these 3 because they don't actually turn inside of it. They just kind of stay right here. And so, once you've gotten it like this, what we're going to do is we're going to build up the corner section of, if you have one of these 2 cubes, to make it look like the Rubik's one. And so this is a perfect demonstration of the first step. You just have to get a corner section just whole like this. And so what we'll do is we'll find a corner piece. I like using the same one every time just so I know where I'm taking it apart. So I use this one. It doesn't really matter at all for you, but I'll just put it on there like that. And then what we'll do is actually on the Moyu 2x2 like this, it's just going to be a normal one that you just put in there. But you'll notice if you have a V-cube one like this, there'll actually be an alternate type of edge. And these actually they would go in between these 2 locking pieces. So it would be like right there. And so there'll be a little indent in the core, and you'll just stick it in right there. And that is in between the 2 pieces that get stuck together in the mechanism that I was talking about earlier. But on this one, you just put in the 1 piece and it'll be fine. And so what you do now is we have the same exact thing on both of these. You see, like that. And now what we're going to do is just going to assemble it like a 3x3. And so if you haven't assembled a 3x3 before, what you're going to do is you're just going to find one edge, and I'll put that down here. Put that in. And then one more edge, just to kind of make a cross. So it's kind of like solving a 3x3 really. And so we'll just have a cross of pieces. You see a cross of edge pieces like that. There we go. And now what we'll do is we'll find another corner piece and put it on in its respective spot. So you see, line up red with red. Just put it together solved. It makes it easier that way. Now line up blue to blue, and this to this, just like you would be solving a cube. And now we'll just put the edges in, just like this. Just stick them in. It won't be too hard. It kind of varies depending on the cube you have, but it'll be pretty much the same thing. Okay, and now for the last layer. What I find easy to do with this is to just assemble the whole thing like you did with this, only like kind of upside down and by itself. And so what we'll do is we'll have yellow on the bottom, because that's opposite of white, and that's what we started with. Line a couple of the colors up like that. Line another one, and finally the last one. And then we'll just pull these two apart from each other. And now we need to slide each of these edges in between in the places that they need to go. And so you see in this case I'll just slide that one right there. And then I'll slide this in between two of the other ones, like that. This will be a little bit tricky. And then finally for the last couple ones, you go right there. But before you do that, you're actually going to want to put the center in. So I'll just slide that carefully underneath everything that I have there, just like that. And then again, slide this together, like that. And then finally slide that very last piece in. Now this is just what I find easiest to do on this cube. It may differ depending on the cube you have. Like on the Rubik's, I think it's a little bit easier to just assemble the whole thing on top of there and just keep the center loose so you can slide all the pieces in. But you should be able to figure out something that works. And now I'll just set this on top, hold it in place and flip it over, and then I can screw the screw back in. The Rubik's, I'll just run through this really quickly one more time. So we put the edge in, put another edge in, you see, and then we put this piece on how it would need to go, like that. You grab another piece, and it needs to go like that. Another piece, like that. Edge in, edge in, edge in. I'll do this one a little bit differently. That on top, edge. This is just doing the same thing that I did earlier, only with it on top of the cube. So it's pretty much the same thing. This, edge, corner, and then finally center, in the very middle, and then an edge, like that, and then find the last edge, and put it in, and then the last corner, you can just kind of push it up into there. Just make sure it doesn't get stuck on the hollow part. Just like that. And then you can screw that in and you'll be perfectly fine. It's a little bit weird because the pieces aren't rounded, but it works. So I'll screw these both in right now. There we go. And now I'll very quickly do it on the V-cube in fast motion. And there we go. We are done. So I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Just any miscellaneous questions or comments, leave those down in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, stay subscribed. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!